Welcome to Dateline. Dateline today parades reports on the activities of Governor Adigboyega Oyetola. It lead the package, followed by a report on hate speech, which is becoming endemic in our socio-political politics. We shall also report about the poor way of handling the Naira notes ahead of the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to redesign some denominations of the Nigerian currency. Today's Dateline promises to be educative, informative, and entertaining. Once again, welcome to Dateline. My name is Oluchi Amuda. First, the hard news segment. Nigerian Air Force Super Tucano fighter jet has killed 16 Boko Haram terrorists in Banki border area of Bama Council in Borno State. The neutralization of insurgents followed intelligence-led aerial and ground-coordinated military operations by troops in the border areas with Cameroon. A counter-insurgency expert in the Lake Chad region, Zagazola Makama in Maiduguri, disclosed that Boko Haram has suffered another devastating loss of its foot soldiers in the coordinated joint military operations in the border areas of Banki. According to him, the neutralized terrorists have been hibernating in the Chogolo and Tangalanga border communities with Cameroon, 134 kilometers east of Maiduguri. On how the terrorists were killed, he said the bombs from the detailed attack Super Tucano aircraft accurately hit on target, adding that this led to the obliteration of 16 of the terrorists and their motorcycles. He added that the operation was conducted pursuant to credible intelligence reports indicating that the settlement was one of the locations being used by the fighters. He said the terrorists used the settlement as a staging location to attack nearby military bases and soft targets in Banki border areas with Cameroon. Meanwhile, the federal government has identified several assets belonging to the terrorists and their sponsors, but have not started seizing their assets as investigation continues, with most to get court orders to freeze and forfeit their assets. According to the Ministry of Justice, investigation has revealed that assets of 6 groups and entities, as well as other properties and companies owned by alleged sponsors of terrorists, have been discovered. According to the Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Dr. Maru Gwandu, all the accounts traced to the suspects have been sophisticated, adding that they have not traced their physical assets. The director disclosed that 13 convicted sponsors of Boko Haram have been added to the Nigerian sanctions list, a master list of all persons and institutions blacklisted for terrorism. In the meantime, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has foiled an attempt by traffickers to smuggle consignments of cannabis concealed in 3 tubers of yam. The Director, Media and Advocacy, NDLEA, Mr. Femi Babafemi, made this known in a statement today in Abuja. Babafemi said the anti-narcotics officers attached to the Skyway Aviation Handling Company export shed of the airport made the arrest. He said the yam, which was going to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, was intercepted. He also said the freight agent who presented the yams for export, Inebu Akona, was promptly arrested, while the consignor Amodu Suleiman was also nabbed thereafter. Meanwhile, NDLEA operatives have arrested Agmachu Nkewonye and a lady, Oluwakemi Adeoye, heading to the departure hall, the Lagos airport. Wafemi said Nkoye, accompanied by Adeoye, presented a bag containing varieties of foodstuff and body lotion for inspection and were arrested. The British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lane, has said the number of Nigerians applying for visas to the United Kingdom have increased in recent times. Lang made the disclosure in Abuja, saying that the UK government is mindful of the situation and was in talks with the Nigerian government to avoid causing brain drain, especially in the health sector. The High Commissioner expressed delight that the UK had become an attractive destination for Nigerians, especially students, adding that the UK was ready to welcome talents. According to her, there are people of Nigerian origin in the UK and people like to go there, to go where they have families or friends, adding that the English language makes it easier. A week-long activities have been lined up for the inauguration and swearing-in ceremony of the governor-elect, Senator Ademola Adeleke. While speaking with OSBC News, a former Deputy Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Prince Diran Odeyemi, who itemized such activities as interdenominational prayers, novelty match, public lecture, among others, maintained that the Transition Committee has made adequate preparation to ensure the success of the events, built to climax with the swearing-in ceremony on the 27th of this month.
Of the ceremony with a press conference on Monday, where we intend to inform the world about the activities that will lead to the eventual swearing-in on Sunday. And after the press conference on Monday, we have interdenominational service at the party secretariat, whereby we invited both Christian, Muslims, and traditional people to come and pray, for peace and progress in Osun State. And on Wednesday, there is going to be a football match, novelty match, which is still, the planning is still ongoing. And on Thursday, there is going to be a symposium at Atlantis Hall, where Bishop Bayo Ladibolu will be giving us a lecture on light in Osun. And on Friday, there's going to be a private prayer at late Governor Adeleke's residence, the former Disherubawan, the first governor, civilian governor of the state. There will be a private prayer, by the family. And on Saturday, we are expecting a lot of people, right from the presidential candidates, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, state governors, ambassadors, and we intend to welcome them to Osun, so that on Sunday morning, which is the D-Day, then we have the swearing in. And after that, we are going to give them lunch at the government house. And by Monday, the governor will resume in office. And we are kicking that with another prayer too.
An Islamic cleric, Sheikh Dikrullahi Shafil, has advised of parents to train their children in the way of Allah, run away from sin, and be steadfast in faith. Sheikh Dikrullahi gave this advice at the graduation ceremony of Fawzul Hakim Islamiyya Arabic and Memorization School. Omotayo Adebodon completes the story.
It was celebration gala at the first graduation ceremony of the Fawzul Azim Islamiyya Arabic and Memorization School, where 6 students of the Arabic school completed the memorization of the Holy Quran. In a sermon, the Mufti Conference of Islamic Organization, Sheikh Dikrullah Shafi, congratulated the entire students for their endurance during the training. He beckoned on them all to desist from sin and believe in the Holy Quran. He also called on parents to support them and believe in them so as to bring out the confidence in all of the students. Earlier in his address of welcome, the proprietor of the school, who doubles as the chief imam of Oladejo Memorial Central Mosque, Osogbo, Imam Abdulgani Shitu, said the goal of the school is to bring out the ability of their students to memorize the Holy Quran in the shortest duration possible while ensuring long-term retention, adding that to memorization of the Holy Quran. The school provides opportunity for their students to have a background of various genres of Islamic knowledge, a balanced lifestyle, and various programs to give them unique and sound knowledge of Islamic settings.
For them to memorize this Al-Quran is a great pleasure for us and in their life too. And they are going to have a great reward from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by reciting this Al-Quran, even listening to it, and even thinking about the words and the meaning of Almighty Al-Quran Al-Kareem.
One of the graduating students who spoke with OSBC News, Abdulghani Abdullahi, expressed deep gratitude to Almighty Allah for the opportunity, while also highlighting the challenges he faced memorizing the Holy Quran.
The meaning of those things I memorize, I derive from it, the way of life, the way I can live my life, the way I can do everything in my life, all the entire affair of my life. So having been doing that, when I memorize the Quran, I saw that Quran is a big thing, a very big thing, that when I memorize it, I saw that this book is a divine book.
The event featured Quranic recitation and climaxed with the presentation of certificates to all graduating students. The first graduation of Fasul Azim Islamia had in attendance dignitaries from within and outside of the state, Islamic clerics and scholars, parents and well-wishers. Omotayo Adebodun, OSBC News.
The Owa Oye of Imesile of Enoch Ademola Akinyemi has implored the sons and daughters of the town, home and in the diaspora, not to relent in seeing the development of the town as a collective responsibility, since government alone cannot do it all. The monarch, who made this known at the 2022 Imesile Day celebration, appreciated the people for their immense support for the throne at all times. Here are the details. Imesile, a city set on a hill and cannot be hid, was agog with activities as the sons and daughters of the town, as well as dignitaries from all walks of life, converged on the Palace Square for the 2022 Imesile Day celebration. In his address at the event, the Owa Oye of Imesile, Oba Enoch Ademola Akinyemi, who was flanked by the Owa Loko of Iloko Ijesha, Oba Akim Olushayo Ogungbagbe, was full of appreciation to the people for their immense contributions to the progress of the town. He, however, maintained that more still needs to be done, as he appealed to all to join the train of development, adding that government alone cannot do it all.
The message is clear and simple, that we should all tighten our belts and do whatever we want, we can achieve it. We don't leave everything to the government to do for us. We as ourselves should carry on with the job and get it done.
While delivering his speech, Chairman of Imesile Day Celebration, Sir David Fadairo, said one of the ways of achieving the dreams of the founding fathers of Imesile is to identify the promising youth in the town and invest in them, adding that any society that neglects its youth has mortgaged its future.
Can we achieve our dream? Yes, we can.
Also speaking, the chief guest of honor, Honorable Adeyemi Irekandru, implored the people to maintain the peace and unity existing in the town, even as the general election approaches, noting that no election is worth the blood of anyone.
And I will also encourage them that they should be peaceful in everything that they are doing. Election is not worth the blood of anybody.
In their separate remarks, the national president of Imesile Progressive Association, Engineer Oluseyi Adeniyi, and the chairman planning committee, Comrade Bisi Olaniyan, said the town is blessed with prominent people who have distinguished themselves in all fields of endeavors all over the world, calling on them to come home and join the winning train by investing in Imesile for the progress of the town.
They must come to assist so that the town will be conducive for all of us to live in, and we shall grow together.
Willing investors who may wish to invest and establish in the town to come home without further delay.
The 2022 Imesile Day celebration climaxed with a fundraising of 100 million naira for the development of the town. You are welcome to our commercial segment.
Peak protein breakfast gets me to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes through his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. Because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a peak protein breakfast. Peak. Reach for your peak.
You are welcome back. Former Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, will be commissioning the 10 kilometers Oshobo-Lameko Okene-Ilobo-Ifon Road, which falls to Lobo's Palace, as well as the Kelebe-Rabiji Road, including access road to Oritai, Diodan, Avaroni, and Noye Market tomorrow. This is contained in a release signed by the coordinating director of the governor's office, Mr. Okondeji. The release enjoins all stakeholders to attend the event. You are welcome to our sports segment. The long wait is over as the 2022 World Cup begins in Qatar, with millions of fans set for the most exciting and intriguing moments of the tournament, starting with the opening ceremony at the Albit Stadium. Omotaya Adebodo now brings us the details of the opening ceremony.
Qatar welcomes the world's best players for a Winter World Cup after over a decade of controversies. The world is watching as the Gulf state rises the curtain on the latest edition of the football extravaganza. Music and dance shows at the opening ceremony, from traditional Arabic songs and Ken's waving flag to Waka Waka by Shakira. Hollywood star Morgan Freeman's live message of hope, unity and tolerance at the start of the ceremony, as hundreds of dancers and musicians takes to the stage. The opening ceremony started with mobile phones lighting up the darkened stadium. Organizer says the 7-act narration is guided by a strong visual concept, a bespoke musical project, and world-class talent interlacing Qatari tradition with worldwide culture. The opening ceremony closes with a bang as fireworks fills the night sky above the stadium. Meanwhile, the FIFA president Gianni Infantino did little to calm fears of a chaotic World Cup with a remarkable and defiant speech criticizing the Western media coverage of the host. But now, football must be played, and the tournament officially begins inside the Al Bayt Stadium in Qatar. Omotayo Adebodun, OSBC News.
And still talking sports, as the 2022 World Cup competition begins today in Qatar, a veteran sports analyst, Mr. Smollett Shitualamo, has urged the Nigerian government to be more objective in the choice of officiating umpires. According to the veteran, corruption, injustice in sporting industry is one of the reasons that led to the failure of the Super Eagles to qualify for the competition.
But if we had participated, you can see Nigerians being ready to be their brother's keeper here and there, discussing, drinking, making merry, and so running the economy one way or the other. But right now, it doesn't provide us anything. Because we couldn't qualify. And as a host nation, if you host the event, you have so much. Your development, infrastructure development is lifted up gloriously. Qatar is going to provide us 8 different stadia. If they had 4 and built another 4 to it, that's a plus.
Mr. Shitualamo calls for the rejig of all societal values, which he said is the panacea to Nigerian challenges.
Let us stop corruption. If we can stop corruption in higher places, we will get better. A Nigerian was bribed 12 years ago to vote for Qatar. He took the money and put it in his pocket. His counterpart in France did not take the money. He instructed that certain things be done for that country. That is a person who had passion for his own country. Corruption is bad, but then he brought it to the people. This Nigerian pocketed it himself. So until and unless corruption, let us come out clean. let's forget corruption. If we did that, our nation will be better.
And on the foreign scene, COP27 host Egypt scrambled to salvage UN climate talks with the European Union and Pakistan, signaling a breakthrough over the contentious issue of loss and damage funding for climate vulnerable nations. Nearly 200 countries' representatives have gathered at the COP27 in Egypt for 2 weeks with the aim of driving forward action to fight climate change as the world faces a worsening onslaught of weather extremes. Reports of the talks told over the terms under which wealthy polluters provide loss and damage funding for countries wrecked by climate disasters, as well as over ratcheting of ambition in tackling global warming. We'll now go on a break. Dateline continues shortly. You are welcome back. Dateline, packaged by Governor's Office correspondent Soyon Noridi, reviewed milestone achievement recorded by Governor Adigboyega Oyetola in the just concluded week regarding infrastructural development designed to impact positively on the lives of the people, as well as boosting the economy of the state. His report.
Osogbo, the Osun State capital, witnessed another milestone infrastructural development as Governor Adigboyega Oyetola commissioned an ultra-modern shopping complex at Old Garage area of the town. Speaking on the 168 lock-up new Omoluabi shopping complex, Governor Oyetola noted that the project is in line with the vision of his administration in empowering people, creating job opportunity, and boosting entrepreneurial skills in the state. The governor disclosed that over 2 billion naira have been injected in various social interventions for the citizenry, as well as infrastructural developments across the state in boosting the economy.
Extending growing facilities to the people, especially women and youth. Collaborating with federal government under partners to provide social investment to people, building the entrepreneurial skills of the youth, and give them military and other devices to start small-scale businesses and give agricultural improvement for farmers to increase employment. So far, we have injected well over 2 billion through personal credit unions to support our businesses, both men and women.
In their separate remarks, the State Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Bola Oyebanji, as well as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Omoluabi Holdings Company Nigeria Limited, Dr. Tunde Faleye, lauded Governor Oyetola for his immense contribution and unwavering support morally and financially in making the project a reality, adding that the project will go a long way in boosting the economy of the state.
It's an achievement and it's a great one. And I want each and every one of us to clap and stand up and clap for Mr. Governor, please. What are the achievements? Mr. Governor, we did not owe our bank a single kobo as of today. And it gladdens my heart that the dynamic that we used to establish and build this shop is a dynamic that you established and you gave to us from day one when we consumed this idea. We want to tell you that we appreciate you for that leadership role. I want to pray especially for the subscribers that we make good goodies in this shop and offices.
Tenure of office, the totality of the credit for the completion and the construction of this gigantic project goes to our visionary and ever supportive governor of the state of Osun, Alhaji Igboyega Oyetola. I was thinking you would clap more than that. We have reason for coming together today. But the reason for us coming together today is because we want to commission this project. And I'm here telling you now that this project wouldn't have been possible if not for the support of the governor. I was thinking you would clap more than that.
High point of the occasion was the official commissioning of the project by Governor Adeboye Oyetola when Olaya Flyover project was conceived in February 2021 by Governor Adeboye Oyetola in preventing essential road accidents. Many critics dismiss it as mere fantasy, iconic flyover which opened to traffic in February 2022 and eventually commissioned by the Ondo State Governor Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu. Governor Akeredolu, who enthused that he is particularly overwhelmed with joy to partake in the historical event, noted that as someone who is familiar with Osun State and Osogbo in particular, Governor Oyetola has imprinted his mark on the sand of time by transforming the lives of the citizenry in all ramifications across the state of Osun. Governor Oyetola said that the completion of the project is another demonstration by the administration on the premium it places on security and economy of the state, as well as in fulfillment of campaign promises. The governor noted that the flyover would ease the growing traffic, eliminate untimely death, as well as ensuring security of lives of the people. Governor Oyetola also noted that infrastructural development and economy are interwoven and that it is relentless in fixing the infrastructural deficit of the state and boosting the economy. In his remark, the State Commissioner for Works and Transport, Engineer Remi Omowaye, submitted that the Olaya flyover has put paid to calamitous experience as a result of numerous road accidents as well as traffic gridlock on the route, just as the special advisor to the governor on works and transport, Engineer Olatoke Olaniyan, said that the completion of the project has transformed the economy of the state remarkably.
Imagine, but we thank God that within a year we finish this project without worrying a cover. Your Excellencies, if you look at our program booklet, the last page, we have scorecard of the Ministry of Works. I am glad to say to the whole world that under our performing governor, we have constructed and completed over 60 road projects without worrying the cover. This is unprecedented. I would seek the guidance of His Excellencies to permit me to also say this. Some of these completed road projects are road projects that have been abandoned for 30 years.
Today signifies victory. It signifies completion. It's a day we have to thank God for enabling us to complete a very, very important project in the administration of Governor Adeboye Oyetola in Osun State. This project started about 2 years or so ago. And when we started, there were cynics that did not believe that it could happen. Some people even felt that, oh, we were just embarking on the project to attract attention to ourselves, that we did not really intend to complete the project, particularly when we gave the people of Osun State a 9-month completion timeline. But to the glory of God, we completed this project in 11 months.
Goodwill messages delivered by various stakeholders, including former Deputy Governor Otumba Grace Titilayo Lauye Panle, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Timothy Owueye, the State Chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Gboyega Famodun, Alaye More of Ido Osun, Oba Aderemi Adedapo, the representative of Ataujo of Osogbo, Alhaji Sulaiman Olanipekun, extolled Governor Oyetola for the execution of Olaiya flyover project that has eliminated blood, tears, and sorrow at the entry and exit point to Osogbo, the state capital. High point of the occasion was the official commissioning of the iconic flyover by the Ondo State Governor, Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu, as well as the inspection tour of the project. The colorful events had in attendance high-profile personalities from across Osun and Ondo State, including the Deputy Governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, the Chief Judge of the State of Osun, Honorable Justice Oyebola Adepele Ojo, Secretary to the State Government, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, among others. For Dateline, Saya Onoinde reporting.
Many thanks to you, Sonia, for that report. And in the same vein, Olaiya intersection in Osogbo wore a new look as it hosted dignitaries who graced the official inauguration of the iconic Olaiya flyover constructed by Governor Adegboyega Oyetola's administration. Our correspondent Adebare Jumakide now takes a retrospective look at the major events of the ceremony.
The official commissioning and construction of the iconic Olaiya flyover by the administration of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola for the benefits of the people will continue to linger in the minds of the participants, the beneficiaries, as well as the people of Osun. The airport-making event, which had the presence of eminent personalities across the southwest geopolitical zone, was sequel to the test run of the project that had been opened to alleviating the traffic hazards being faced by the road users in the area. The event saw the chairman of Southern Governors Forum, who is also the governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu, and his entourage, which included Secretary to the State Government of Ondo and the Chief of Staff. They displayed enthusiasm while identifying with Osun State Government over the landmark achievement of Governor Oyetola in all sectors of the economy. The occasion also had in attendance the presence of the Deputy Governor of the State of Osun, Mr. Benedict Alabi, former Deputy Governors, Speaker House of Assembly, Honorable Timothy Owueye, and members of Osun State House of Assembly. Also at the historic event were the State Chief Judge, Justice Oyebola Adepele Ojo, members of the State Judiciary, Secretary to the State Government of Osun, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, the State Cabinet members, State ABC Chairman, Prince Gboyega Famodun, political stalwarts, among other dignitaries. Addressing the people at the venue, Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu took time identifying with the cultural heritage of the people of Osun.
State government of Osun. Construction of iconic flyover bridge at Olaiya intersection Osogbo was commissioned today, Thursday, 17 November 2022. by my humble self to the glory of God and for the use of the people of the state of Osun. Ìlérí Olúwa ó ti ṣẹ.
While Governor Oyetola was also eulogized by the political stakeholders, monarchs, for the feat attained in the delivery of good governance, having been accorded a warm reception. It was observed that the design on the flyover and its surroundings reflected the cultural heritage of Osun. Adibari Ijimakide for Dateline.
And away from the commissioning of the iconic flyover to politics, one of the most important bases for political campaigns is the opportunity it presents to political parties and their candidates to communicate their manifestos to the electorate with a view to winning their trust and consequently translate into massive votes on election day. However, the dimensions political campaigns are presently assuming in Nigeria, especially in the area of hate speech, have become a source of concern to stakeholders who warn that if such ugly trend is not checked, it could pose a great danger to the country's democracy. This Dateline report examines hate speech phenomenon and its implications for the 2023 general election. Hate speech is one of the ugly trends which some politicians and their supporters often engage in during campaigns. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, hate speech is an expression that denigrates a person or persons on the basis of alleged membership in a social group identified by attributes such as race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, religion, age, physical or mental disability, among others. This ugly trend of hate speech seems to have been rearing its head again as election campaigns preparatory for the 2023 general elections in Nigeria have intensified, as politicians and their supporters have continued to attack personalities and leaving issues behind. Many Nigerians, including some social cultural organizations such as Afenifere or Hanez Ndibo, the Arewa Consultative Forum, among others, have warned that politicians and their supporters are working on dangerous grounds capable of disrupting the peace of the nation.
Hate speech is bad because it begets a hate action. And hate action puts communities, puts families, puts brothers and sisters into trouble. And from there, we got wars and hatred.
Over the years, the concept of a peaceful election has remained a mirage in Nigeria. Fear of violence that often accompany hate speech have been identified as one of the reasons a number of Nigerians often feel reluctant to visit the polling centers to exercise their franchise during elections. This is despite the fact that conducting free, fair, and credible elections had been identified as the bedrock for peace and development of any nation. It was to this end that the National Peace Committee designed strategies, set up proactive mechanisms, and engaged stakeholders, irrespective of region, religion, and political affiliation, for the attainment of peaceful election in Nigeria. The National Peace Committee, established in 2014 under the chairmanship of retired General Abdul Salam Abubakar, envisaged a Nigeria that is built on peace, justice, and equity, where every citizen has a right to democratic participation and can live freely in any part of the country. The committee has raised concern over the breach of the peace accord signed by politicians some weeks back.
The first peace accord, which was today, is to commit all political parties, presidential candidates and their spokespersons to peaceful political campaigns and rallies, devoid of violence, incitement, and personal interest, but also to define by issues at the very heart of the national development and progress.
Speaking with Dateline on this development, The spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Osun State, Mr. Kunle Oyatomi, and the media director of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Mr. Oluwabamijo Oladele, noted that contestants and political parties are supposed to use a variety of techniques to reach voters and deliver their messages, including traditional and new media, public events, written materials, or other means. They decried the situation where politicians and their spokespersons have left critical issues that have to do with the future of the country unattended to, and have continued to dwell on unimportant issues based on ethnic profiling, religion, personality attacks, among others.
Competition, somebody must win in any competition whatsoever. So you don't just say because you are competing with somebody, then they must stone the fellow.
It is one-time bomb. All of us must, as politicians or as stakeholders in the entire political system, stand against. We should all come together to rise against it. Within the sphere of what we've had, in terms of political experience, one will expect ordinarily that by now we should have been matured. We should have come of age to the extent of speaking to issues instead of personal attacks, mudslinging, religious or ethnic sentiments that can easily divide the country.
Speaking in the same vein, a legal practitioner, Mr. Bode Babalola, stated that the time has come for Nigerians to demand for answers from those planning to lead them, just as he called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to regulate the campaign utterances of politicians and their supporters by ensuring that they stop overheating the polity, which is capable of jeopardizing the success of the elections if left unchecked.
I think the aspect of hate speech is what the INEC must be up and doing about. I listened to some of the campaigns. Tribal jingoism comes in very easily. Each of these candidates, on its own volition, came out to contest. So we must refer to them based on their past, their present, and what we feel they can do.
In his submission, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Mr. Abiodun Ibekunle, maintained that the agency has commenced voter education in all the nooks and crannies of the state, sensitizing Nigerians on the need to eschew violence in their support for their preferred candidates, adding that the unity of the country should remain sacrosanct to everyone.
Anybody who is aspiring to hold one public office or the other should bank on the merit of his programs. He should be able to convince the people of his constituency that if elected into office, these are the programs that he has in store for them and the benefits that the people will derive. And to the people who are going to vote, we make them realize that it does not pay to sacrifice long-term benefits for temporary expedience. Because when people take money in order to vote for politicians, they are mortgaging their future. And particularly, they are mortgaging the future of their children.
They advised all the political parties fielding candidates in next year's general election to sell their candidates to the electorate convincingly and not through campaigns of calumny. The word they say is enough for the wise, and that ends Dateline on Osbc Tv. Thank you for watching. It was produced by Babatunde Olatito. The production assistant is Abdul Jalil at DBC. My name is Oluchi Amuda, wishing you a wonderful night rest. Bye-bye.
Breakfast gets you to a great day. How do I know? because my daddy goes through his work feeling good and always with a smile.